Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys who have entered my glow kit giveaway. I've definitely felt the love and support, and I can't believe we're already to 300 subscribers. That's totally crazy. I also wanted to elaborate on something I cut short in the giveaway video, and that is the purpose for my channel. The main reason why I started this channel was just to share my passion and love for playing around with makeup. That's just one of my creative outlets, and I really enjoy it. I want to help inspire you guys to try something new that you otherwise wouldn't have tried before coming here to my channel. If I could help you guys create looks that suit you guys, that is my goal. That is the reason why I started this channel. Today's video is something that is probably the most requested tutorial that I've gotten since starting YouTube. I took a poll on my Snapchat a couple weeks ago if you guys wanted to see a brow or a winged eyeliner tutorial, and the brows one. This is going to be a part of my makeup basics series, and I'm actually gonna divide it into 3 parts. Today's gonna be part 1. This is how I do my eyebrows almost every day. I'm going to have a part 2 for more natural looking brows, and I'm only going to be using a few products. Part 3, I'm going to be doing a super dramatic brow look, and this is like for formal events like weddings or graduation, and I will be using different products in that video than I'm going to be using in this video. So yeah, today is going to be part 1. So if you guys like to see how I accomplish this brow look, please keep watching. First thing I'm going in with is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in shade Ash Brown. Now before you fill in your brows, you want to make sure that you line up everything correctly. The beginning of your brow should line up with the side of your nose. And here I'm using the pencil just to show you how to make sure everything lines up. And then the arch of your brow should go over where your pupil is. And as you can see, I'm pointing where that arch is. And then the end of your brow should end where the corner of your eye meets your eyebrow. So I'm showing you with my finger where that should end. So once you've gotten everything lined up, then you know where to begin and where to arch and where to end when you are filling in your brow. So now I'm just going to begin filling in those brows right where I showed you guys to start the brows. And I actually have like one tiny little hair that juts out from the rest. So that's kind of how I know where to begin my brows. So I'm just using small strokes, and I'm just following the bottom of my brows. I usually tweeze them so they already have a certain shape, and I just follow that for the bottom, and it makes it pretty easy. And I'm just going to drag that all the way down to where the brow should end. And I'm using my pencil as a kind of a guideline. Now that we lined up everything on the bottom, I'm going to go to the top. And instead of starting directly on top of the bottom line, I'm going to go over like 1/2 centimeter. And this is really going to help the beginning of my brows look a little bit more natural, because it's really obvious when you have like really filled in brows at the beginning. It's very obvious that they're filled in. So if you kind of take it back a little bit and leave a little space at the beginning, it will give you a little bit more natural look, and that's what you want, especially for an everyday glam look. And I'm going to use the exact same technique that I used on the bottom of my eyebrow. And for the top, I'm just going to follow my natural hairline and just really thicken it up using small short strokes. And I'm just going to go over the tail and all the way till it connects with the bottom right there. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but I already have on all my foundation and primer and setting spray, everything like that. If you would like to see that routine, I will link that video for you guys down below, so check the description box. Now to fill in the other side, I'm going to kind of draw an invisible line straight across, so that way I know where to start my other side of my brow. I barely have any hair there. For some reason, I have more hair on my right eyebrow than my left eyebrow, so I have to draw that invisible line so I know exactly where to start. And again, I'm repeating the same exact process as I did on my right eyebrow, and I'm just following the bottom line of my eyebrow. And moving to the top of my eyebrows, same thing as before, going out about 1/2 centimeter and then following the natural line of my brow. And I'm just going to follow that all the way down the tail to where it connects at the bottom. Now the part that takes a lot of focus for me. So starting from the baseline of my brows right at the beginning, I'm going to take some very short, light-handed strokes, and I'm going to try to mimic the hairs that are already there. So at the beginning of the baseline, I'm going straight up just like the brow hairs are, and then as I work my way down, I'm going to make them more slanted. And once I do that on both sides, I'm going to go from the top and I'm going to make vertical hair strokes on both sides. As you can see, I'm doing here, I try to space them out evenly. Sometimes they don't come out evenly, but for today, I think they came out okay. But that is exactly what it's going to look like at the beginning of my brows. And this just helps the beginning look a little bit more natural. So moving on to powder, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in Ash Brown, and as you can see, there's a lighter pan and a darker pan. I've had this for about 2 years, and I just hit pan, so this stuff like goes a long way. To apply it, I'm using an e.l.f. small angled brush. This is about $3 from Walmart. And I'm going to dip that into the lighter pan, and I'm going to start about 1/2 inch out from the beginning of my brows. And this is going to keep the beginning of my brows a little bit more natural because it's less filled in. So I'm going to be using small short strokes, and again I'm using that lighter pan and going in about 1/2 inch from the beginning of my brows. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the darker pan, and with that same exact brush, I'm going to be taking very little product. Again, this stuff, you know, a little bit goes a long way. It's super pigmented. So I'm going to kind of blend what I just filled in all the way to the tail. I also wanted to quickly say that everyone has different preferences when it comes to makeup, especially for brows. So some people like it more natural, some people like it more dramatic, and that's totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you like this is the way to fill in your brows and any other way is wrong. So just keep that in mind. Experiment with your brows and see what works for you. I personally had a lot of trial and error before I found exactly what worked for me. So this is what I found worked for me, and hopefully it can be a help to you guys. For my other brow, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I said for my right brow. I'm going to speed this up so it doesn't take too long, but basically I'm going to start with the lighter pan and fill that in. Then I'm going to take the darker pan and blend the middle towards the outer tail. Now what I like to do is take that brush and wipe off any excess product that's on the brush until it's fairly clean, and then I go to the baseline of the start of my brows and I kind of lightly blend that line up so it's not super harsh, and I only go about halfway up, and again using a very light hand. And here is the finished product. And now I'm going to take the e.l.f. Professional Brow Wand, or you could call it a spoolie, and I'm going to use this to blend out my brows. Now, the important thing to note is I blend out the beginning of my brows a lot more than the outer part of my brows. I keep that pretty thick. So I usually do about, I don't know, 10 strokes on the beginning. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less, just depends on how much product I have on that day. And then for the middle of my brow, I usually do about 6 to 7 swipes. And then for the tail, I just do 2 to 3. And I'm just going to repeat that same exact technique on the other side. Now this next part is optional. If you do happen to make a mistake, then you can just take a small concealer brush and go ahead and take some skin toned concealer, and you can clean up the lines or any mistakes that you have done by simply running that brush along the bottom or the top, wherever you made that mistake. And then to blend that out, all you have to do is just use downward motion. I didn't actually make any mistakes, but that is what I would have done if I needed to. Now to set that, I'm going to use the NYX Control Free Clear Brow Gel, and please excuse the packaging. I burnt it a little bit. I put it beside my lamp. So I'm just going to take this clear brow gel and put a very light coat over everything. Once it is dry, it kind of locks in place all the product and all your little flyaway brows and keeps it looking very fresh throughout the day. So here's what my brows look like when they are not filled in, and then here's what they look like when they are filled in. And it seriously makes all the difference in the world.
And that, guys, is what I did to accomplish this brow look. I hope that you found this video helpful. Just a quick tip to remember, I got this off of Candy Johnson's channel, is your brows are sisters, not twins. So don't stress about having them perfectly identical, because most girls, if not all girls, have 2 different eyebrows. So you got to work with that. And for those of you who are just starting off filling in your brows, don't worry if it doesn't come out perfect the first couple of times. So just keep practicing, and don't forget to blend, 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 and blend some more, and you will be a brow master in no time. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also find me on my Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. They are all Mix and Match Mel. Thank you so much for following along with me today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day or night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!